You know what? No. 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 Fuck it. Fine. I'll fucking review the goddamn... Just roll the fucking thing. Alright guys, welcome back to Days of Darkness and welcome to my review of A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child. This one came out in 1989, starring Robert Englund and Lisa Wilcox, and was directed by Stephen Hopkins. I know the thought has been in the back of a lot of my viewers' minds, as well as my own, of that, man, you really only review movies that you like, or movies that you at least tolerate. Not anymore. Fuck this movie. What the fuck happened, dude? Parts 1 through 4, yeah, I have my problems with them, but damn it to hell, some of the best horror stuff from the 80s ever. Easily. I don't know what the fuck happened here, dude. This movie, there's no redeemable... I'm trying to think about it right now. I really can't think of anything remotely redeemable about it. I really can't. I mean, sure, this movie has some real solid ideas, which we will get into in the spoiler section. Don't you worry, your pretty little asses. But the way that they are executed fucking sucks. Robert Englund does what he can with his role as Freddy Krueger once again. And I will always, always be thankful for Robert Englund playing this role. I think he's irreplaceable. I'm not saying that one day someone can't step into those shoes and don that glove and that very stylish fedora and that god-awful Christmas sweater. I'm not saying someone can't do that, but Robert Englund is fucking irreplaceable. My problem with Freddy is not Robert Englund in this. It is a direction standpoint and it is a writing standpoint. He fucking sucks in this movie, dude. Not Robert Englund. He does what he can, but and I don't really consider this a spoiler, but every fucking thing he says is a quip or a pun. He's not scary. He's just not fucking scary. Yes, I am fine with funny Freddy. I think I thoroughly enjoy when Freddy Krueger is funny. I think it's an integral part of that character. And to just do away with it completely, I don't agree with. That being said, I also don't think you should get rid of the horror element of the horror fucking character. This guy is a cartoon. And I know it only gets worse. I'm not looking forward to Freddy's Dead at all. Haven't seen it. I am convinced now that I have only watched parts 1 through 4 as a kid, because I just do not fucking remember this. And if I did watch it, I probably suppressed it. And actually, I'm willing to bet that I suppressed it now, because holy shit. God, I fucking hate this movie, dude. It's a chore. It is a chore to sit through. Do I recommend this? No. Watch part 1 through 4 and be done with it. There's no reason to go on from here. Once we get to Wes Craven's New Nightmare, I'm a little more intrigued by that, and there's obvious reasons why I'm intrigued by it, which we'll get into when we get to that review. But for now, fuck this movie. But we're here, and I like doing movie reviews nonetheless, and I'm really looking forward to ripping this thing apart. So, without further ado, let's get right into the spoiler section. Let's spoil the shit out of this motherfucking piece of shit. Goddamn fucking... Alright. I'm calm. I'm gonna stay calm. It's all gonna be okay. Spoiler time. Your ass has been warned. Now, let's just hop right into it here. So, we get an opening with some fucking. I was actually pretty optimistic at first because I'm like, I had never seen this. I'm like, oh shit, we're carrying on Alice's story. I'm like, okay, cool. I wasn't expecting that. I thought we were gonna go like just a different route and just introduce a whole new girl and her friends and yada 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 and have it be like 10 years later or some shit. But somehow still being in the 80s. Shout out to Friday the 13th. But no, it's just carrying on that story, and I was like, oh shit, all right, like we're gonna actually, I know I referenced in the last review I did that I'm like, oh shit, I'm really not looking forward to this because I've heard awful things. But I'm like, okay, we might be onto something here. No, we're not at all. So I'm not gonna run down the plot because it doesn't. Sure, it has a plot, but like, it's like, I really appreciate the opening nightmare with the Amanda Kruger origin story. And it was really cool seeing Robert Englund there as well, just as a little cameo. Like, they made it, I wish it would have been a little more subtle and just for people to be like, oh my god, it's Robert Englund. But, he's just soaking in that camera, and hey, that's what he does. But yeah, man, it was, just freaky shit, and it's Alice's first dream even referencing Kruger at all, and I thought, okay, all right, this is how it starts, the fear and all of that. And then we get the, we get the graduation ceremony when we were just introduced to all of Alice's friends, which I'm like, all of her friends died, and this is only like a year after, Nightmare 4. And, I mean, I guess she just made a bunch of friends like that. But, I think, you could also say, like, oh, these were just Dan's friends. Because you never really saw any of Dan's friends. He was just the hunky love interest in the 4th one. So you can just imagine that she, latched on to all of them once all of her friends got fucking murdered. Sure. Yeah, they're all super one-dimensional, not interesting at all. And I'm saying that for a slasher movie, which I'm aware that character development is not numero uno on the priority list, and I'm fine with that, but God, it's just, there's just nothing that really grabs me. The only character I really give a shit about in this is Alice, and I will give them this, they did make Dan a lot more likable in this one. He's a very sweet guy, and yada yada yada. There's some cutesy shit with Dan and her dad and him being like the nervous boyfriend. I will credit them on the fact that they did an okay, decent job developing those two in their relationship. But that's stretching it. And also, it was cool seeing her dad back, Alice's dad, and him being kind of a recovered alcoholic in this one instead of just being a total dick like he was in the 4th one. On all of that, like, I'm seeing all of this, I'm like, okay, the random, friend characters that were just nowhere present in the 4th one are just here now, like, fine, but there's some actual storytelling here. And from that realm, I'm like, okay, let's fucking roll, man. And then we get, oh man, we get the reveal after Dan's death, which we'll get into in the kill of the film. So, it starts out like normal. I was so ready to bitch about the park, and, because we now know that Alice has the same power that, the Dream Warriors had of being able to pull people into their dreams. Actually, Kristen's power. Her name's Kristen, right? Nightmare 3 is like in my rear view with memory, so I'm like, it's Kristen. I'm almost like 90% sure it's Kristen. She has the same power that she had of being able to pull people in their dreams. But she's just walking through the park, and all of a sudden, this is after her and Dan, fucked in the beginning, the opening credits and the super uncomfortable close-ups, in like the very blue room. But anyways, she's just walking through a park, and all of a sudden it's Dream, and I'm like, no. She has to be asleep. She has to be like at least passed out or knocked out, or give me something here, man. But then we get the reveal, and then obviously, naturally, she's like, oh shit, Freddy's back, starts warning her friends, they don't believe her. And then Dan eventually dies in a very convoluted, just weird dream sequence, which we will get into in my kill of the film, I guess. Because the kill, I'll just say it now, the kills in this movie fucking blow. I know that was an MPAA thing, but even with the MPAA being there, like not being there, I should say, it's not working for me, man. I'll be honest. Hey, who knows? Maybe the kills are fucking awesome and it's just their fault. Wouldn't surprise me. That was the case with Friday the 13th, The New Blood. Wouldn't surprise me here at all. But, still not getting the pass from me. Anyways, the deaths are just stupid in this anyways. So, but yeah, man. So we end up getting Dan's death. And then right after that, obviously, Alice is traumatized from this. He gets in a car accident. And she's convinced that it was Freddy, which it was. But she's confused because she's like, I'm not sleeping. How is he getting to me when I'm awake? And we get the reveal, which slowly kind of unravels itself throughout the story, that, the initial reveal of Alice being pregnant is, made clear. And then we get okay, so the baby can dream. Because, and it's a fact as well, babies are pretty much always asleep when they're in the womb. So naturally, you would dream. I don't really know how this fetus has conscious memories and is able to, like, know who his mom is and know who, just know what human beings look like. I don't get that. And I know I'm thinking about this way more than I should. Because the idea of, Freddy invading a child's dream while still in the womb, that's an intriguing idea. Like, that's not a bad idea, but just the way it's executed fucking sucks. If they would have had this be a couple years after high school and Alice is, like, super pregnant and the baby's actually developed and has a fucking brain and yada yada yada, which I don't even want to get into that whole topic of when babies get brains and all that shit. That can go into some very deep territory that I'm not trying to get into, because this movie does not deserve that. So anyways, but it's a cool idea, because obviously then he would probably share that same power that she has of being able to pull people into his dream. This baby's name is Jacob, by the way, which I guess, again, it's like some big reveal. It's like, oh my god, I've always loved that name. It's like, again, how would the baby know his name is Jacob? How would a baby know that it's a human being when it's in the... Whatever. I don't know about you, but I don't have any fucking memories from the womb. So I'm bitching too much about this one thing. There's plenty of stuff to bitch about in this movie. But still very weird, very not there for me. But yeah, man. So from then on out, the plot, continues with the knowledge that this is how Freddy is doing things, and this is how he's able to get to them. And then we have... Okay, so there are, I think, 3 deaths in this movie. And all of them fucking suck. we're just gonna get into this right now, man. Actually, before we do that, I gotta talk about Freddy's Resurrection. I totally fucking forgot to even put that in my script. Because I suppressed this movie. And I'll be honest, once I fucking get done with this review, it will all go into suppression. As I'm sure Freddy's Dead will as well. So, we get, the whole dream with Amanda Kruger, and she's having Freddy. She's sexually assaulted by all the maniacs, and she becomes pregnant from that. I imagine the father, if the dream is anything to be believed, the father's probably the guy who looks just like Robert Englund, because it's fucking Robert Englund. But yeah, man. So we have Amanda Kruger giving birth to Freddy Krueger, and this baby comes out. It just looks so fucking bad. And then it does the alien run to Alice. And it's like at first, because I've never had a more like drastic switch of emotions, because I'm getting all this story. I'm like, okay, they're carrying on Alice's story. This could be cool. And then I see that fucking thing, and I'm like, oh no, this is gonna fucking suck. And sure enough, right after that, the movie just it looks so fucking bad, and it wiggles into this the fucking sweater, because they're in the church from the fourth movie. And this movie does not deserve to even reference that one, but it does. And Freddy's back, and his arm's just all long for no reason, and he's like everything. The first thing he says, because the little baby Freddy goes in there, and then he comes out, and it's Freddy Krueger, and he's like, "It's a boy!" I'm like, oh my god, dude. And yeah, everything this fucking guy says in this movie is just a complete pun. There's no horror element to him at all, at least in my opinion. I mean, sure, he's killing people, but all three of his kills in this movie, yeah, that's right, again, they all fucking suck, dude. They're just corny, comedy, fucking stupid kills. We'll get all into it, but they just suck. And two of the kills do not make sense. They do not make any fucking sense. And they both have to do with the same thing. So, actually, should I get into that and kill the film? No, fuck it. We'll just do it here. So, first one is Dan. I can tell the kill of the film section might be a little brief. First one's Dan, and he falls asleep at the wheel because he's going home because Alice is all distressed from Freddy Krueger. So he's going home from this graduation party, and then, he falls asleep at the wheel. And I'm like, okay, swerve off the road. And he's in this dream for a while, like a long while. And he's just going down this open road. So I'm like, swerve. You're asleep. You're not conscious. You can't steer. You can't hold the wheel properly. You're fucking asleep. It doesn't... Anyways. By the way, sorry if you can hear the chair. I got a new chair, and it's very, very squeaky. Anyways. So we have that. And then, he has the dream. He gets in a wreck, crashes through the window back into the party room with the pool and all that shit. Which, by the way, it looks like a fucking awesome party, by the way. I would have loved to go to that party. Even though a guy, pushes his hand down on a fucking beer bottle and it looks like it sucked. It's more brutal than any of the fucking kills in this movie, that's for sure. But then he crashes through. So he's on the road in the dream, crashes back into the pool room, runs back out and gets on a motorcycle. It's like, you didn't have to have a whole half of that scene. Just have him go on a fucking motorcycle and fall asleep. It still wouldn't make sense, because it's like, how are you sleeping and driving? But, okay, I guess. But yeah, so then he gets on this motorcycle in the dream still. And then what happens, and we'll get into all that, corny jokes and everything. And then he just fucking wakes up and then dies. Because now that he's awake, now he gets into a fucking car accident and dies. At least they still had him in the truck. I will give them that at least. I was fully expecting him to just be on the motorcycle now. Really glad they didn't go that route. But still, just what the fucking fuck. And then we have the one girl's name from the end. This isn't actually a kill. But I didn't bother remembering any of their names because they don't fucking matter. Again, not dissing on the actors and actresses. That's not what I'm here to do. They do what they can, but they're just not very good. So, I'm sorry. But that's it. Anyways, so we have her falling asleep in a hot tub. And again, a very long, very drawn-out dream sequence. Some cool visuals. One fucking hilarious one of her just falling in multiple directions in this black chasm screen. And then she just wakes up out of the water. I'm like, you would be fucking dead. You fell asleep in a hot tub. You would die. Just fucking preposterous. Like, it doesn't make any sense. They just did not give a fuck here. The other two kills, which we'll get into later on, I need to stop. I'm just rushing this now. Not rushing it, but I'm getting ahead of myself is what I should be saying. But yeah, man, all of her friends die except for one of them lives. Yeah, one of them lives. I can't. It's just my brain at a certain point. Obviously, I was watching the movie because I was taking notes on it, but I was just like, for like a good, like the latter quarter of this movie, I was just like, just stop. Just end. Just end. It was torturous, dude. Freddy Krueger, one of my favorite slashers of all time, and it's just a fucking chore to sit through. But anyways, all of her friends die in super unremarkable ways except for the one. And then we get the final dream, which concludes with baby Jacob in Freddy Krueger makeup. Long story short, they have a prolonged chase scene in one of those Hall of Stairs paintings. And then eventually, Freddy plays some mind games with Jacob posing as his dad, which he's never met and has no clue who he is, but somehow he does. And yeah, man. And so baby Jacob eventually he reveals to Alice that Freddy Krueger is inside of her. So we get this very weird, drawn out, like, scene of her basically, I guess she's expelling Freddy from her somehow, which I don't know how she is doing that, but I'm not going to give it that much thought because who the fuck cares? But yeah, again, pretty cool visual of Freddy, like, popping out of her body, and you get the fucking claw, like, ripping out of her arm. Like, that shit's pretty cool. Gotta give it credit. But, you get a little cut where he, like, bends her body back, and I'm like, okay, she's dead, right? Nope. None of the wounds are even remotely visible once she awakens. It's just not there. But yeah, man, so Jacob is eventually coerced by Amanda Krueger, saying that, Freddy, bad man, you better save your mom. And he's like, even though he didn't like his mom, and he was siding with Freddy this whole fucking time. All of a sudden, he just, turns babyface, and now he is just on his mom's side. And then he turns around, and he's just a little Freddy, and it looks terrible. It's like, she's no fun. I want to learn shit from you now. And Freddy's just like, just, dude, what the fuck? So yeah, man, he ends up, trying to take the little kid under his wing. And, but I'm like, if he kills Alice, wouldn't that kill Jacob? So why is he falling for this? Why is he trying to kill her in the first place if she's his meal ticket to, fucking with people? But again, if anyone somehow likes this movie, I'm not shitting on you at all. Have your opinion. It's all good. Please explain some of this shit to me. Please. I want to know. So anyways, he starts to approach him, and then he fucking pukes out this big tongue thing, and it's a fucking dumb death, dude. He's died so solidly twice now. And then we get this. It's like, this movie is just not great. He ends up, the souls of his three victims, in this movie, essentially just, he ends up getting absorbed back. I can't even fucking remember it. It's lame. He gets absorbed back into his mother and her womb. Oh yeah, no, they rip him apart, and then he turns back into the baby. That's what it is. He turns back into the baby. And the mom grabs little baby, fucking ugly ass Freddy Krueger, and then puts him back in her womb. I don't know why she didn't just rip him in half. I don't know why she had to be dramatic about it, but there we go. Puts him back in the womb. And then Jacob, who is just somehow a baby now. I know they had a little magic thing where he just turns back into a baby. He goes into Alice's womb, even though she's sleeping. I'm thinking about this too much. So yeah, man, she ends up putting Jacob back in her womb, and then we get our corny little happy ending, and we get, of course, the sequel bait of having the fucking little girls jumping the rope, singing the fucking song, and credits with one of the stupidest fucking ending credit songs I've ever heard, and that's it. Guys, I know I didn't go super, super in-depth here, and some people might badmouth me for that, but really there's not a lot to this. There's just not any exposition in this movie is done just extremely boring. It's just extremely boring. There's nothing, there's a little credible scene of, again, good ideas, bad execution. Okay, Alice is pregnant and she's running around talking about a dream demon. Let's have fucking Dan's parents be like, okay, you're unfit to raise this baby because you're, in their mind, psychotic. We want to take the baby. That's compelling shit. Use that. But it doesn't go anywhere. That's just that scene, and then it's done. And then we get the fucking stupid ending, and it's like, dude, you have, the dream child could have been so fucking cool. And it's just not. It's a horrible movie. And again, I know people are going to be like, well, you didn't go into any explanation about the plot. The weird thing is, yes, I did. That's the plot. It's just a bunch of stupid shit. It really is, dude. Yeah. Okay. I'm rambling and raving far too much. So we gotta go ahead and get into the kill of the film. There's 3, and they're all bad. So let's just Nightmare on Elm Street 5 is bad. And the kills are bad. But I am dedicated to providing consistent content. And consistency means that I have to choose a kill of the film. Sure, I would love to say all these fucking kills are dog shit, because they are, and then be done with it. But I can't do that. First kill is the model girl who, you know, her mom is like, you're going to get fat if you eat too much. And that's her character. And that's it. And so they're at a dinner with all these fucking fancy rich people and yada, yada, yada. She falls asleep. And Freddy appears in a waiter's outfit. Rings off. Oh my god, I'm getting tired. Jesus Christ. Rattles off some bullshit one-liners and then feeds her to death. And she chokes on her... She, in the real world, in her not dream, she gets up out of the chair and just starts going like this. Like, why the fuck? I get it. Like, he's holding her up. And props for continuity, but it's like, it's just this. It looks fucking funny. If someone wants to make a gif out of that, you can. I don't know what you would use it for, but there we go. But yeah, man, so he feeds her to death. She gets all fat. And she chokes and dies. And that's it. No, like, exploding belly or anything cool. No, just chokes, dies. Cool. Next one, we get the comic geek who is just, he really likes comic books, and he really likes Greta. Greta was the woman's name, the model's name. That's what it was. I remember that strictly. Then it's Mark. Mark's the comic book nerd. And he's whining when she dies of, oh, the Phantom, whatever the fuck, could have killed Freddy. Sure enough, you know, Alice goes to sleep to try and battle Freddy and to save her other friend. Something like that. So then Mark, anytime someone in the Nightmare franchise goes, stay awake and I'll go to sleep, it's pretty much a guarantee that the other person's going to fall asleep too. So yeah, he falls asleep and he's in this comic book world that's all black and white, which that visually looks cool. But then we get Freddy on a skateboard. And he's like doing this. It's like the director intentionally was like, be as corny and hokey and just fucking dumb as you possibly can be as Freddy Krueger. And Robert Englund, I imagine, was just like, okay, whatever you say, dude. And he did. And he's riding on a skateboard, making the fucking, shelves fall. Which, by the way, Mark does have a pretty cool pad. I actually really like that environment he lives in or whatever. It's like a store or something. It's weird. It's really weird that he's living there. And he's in high school and shit. Or just graduated. But hey, whatever. Live your life. It's actually a pretty cool pad anyways. But yeah, man. So he's skating around in this fucking area. And he's just, I'm not joking. He's riding on this skateboard. And with every swipe of his claw, he just goes... It's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Again, you can make a gif out of that too if you want. Again, not sure what you would use it for, but have fun. And yeah, man, eventually he turns into Mark turns into the Phantom Stalker guy and pulls out his guns and he's like, time to die, you limp dick fucking fuck, or whatever he says. And then, he shoots him and Freddy falls. Oh, I'm dead. Not really. Comes up, back to life, springs back to life, and he's Super Freddy. Which looks fucking dumb. And it is fucking dumb. He's Super Freddy, and he turns Mark into paper, slashes him once, and the color all bleeds out of him, which I actually thought that was pretty cool for what it's worth. And then just hacks and slashes him to death. And we don't even get a good shot of his body parts in real life being just scattered everywhere. He just got crushed by a fucking shelf. And my kill of the film will go to Dan, because I really liked the visual of those tentacles popping out of the motorcycle. It's the coolest kill in this movie, which is not saying a whole lot. But, the tentacles and wires or whatever you want to call them just go into his hands, and he's like, they just enter all over him. There's a really cool shot with one impaling his leg. It's definitely the most graphic kill of the movie, for sure. And yeah, man, just, they stab the shit out of him. He gets burned and electrocuted. Freddy is like a part of the motorcycle and is saying all these, again, just stupid fucking one-liners that I didn't bother committing to memory, because no. And yeah, man, and he eventually gets fried, and he kind of looks like I don't know, he's bald, and he has this fucking, he looks, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. But yeah, man. So he ends up getting fried, and then he wakes up and gets into a car accident, even though he was asleep for like a solid 7 minutes or whatever. Just... This movie sucks. Don't watch it. Please do not watch it. And yeah, man, I am going to take a shower from after watching that piece of shit. And we really need some good old-fashioned, just prime, fucking raw, visceral, just good fucking horror after this shit show that we just watched. So, with that being said, I'm going to review a movie that I haven't... It's not a viewer request, but I really felt... I saw it on my shelf today after watching this. I'm like, that's the next thing I need to watch. I can't. I need something sexy and awesome and great to cleanse my body of whatever the fuck the dream child was. And yeah, man, we're gonna get it. Next time on Days of Darkness, we will be watching and reviewing. I will be watching and I will be reviewing The Exorcist. Alright, guys. Take care of each other. Keep watching horror as long as it's not the dream child. And have a good rest of your day.